A new salvo in the Trump administration's war on journalists. The president, just a short time ago, tweeted that he is not going to attend the annual White House Correspondents' dinner. This coming after CNN and other news outlets were barred from an off-camera White House briefing. That move is not only unprecedented, it looks like an escalation that began earlier on Friday when the president mocked and disparaged the news media at the annual gathering of conservatives at CPAC.
We have to fight it, folks. We have to fight it. They're very smart, they're very cunning, and they're very dishonest. So, just to conclude, I mean, it's a very sensitive topic, and they get upset when we expose their false stories. They say that we can't criticize their dishonest coverage because of the First Amendment. You know, they always bring up the First Amendment. And I love the First Amendment. Nobody loves it better than me. Nobody.
Well, joining me now to discuss the relationship between the news media and the Trump White House is CNN media analyst Bill Carter. He's the author of The War for Late Night, When Leno Went Early and Television Went Crazy. And we also have CNN political commentator Alice Stewart, a Republican strategist. Bill, to you first. I think some people look at this and they may say, oh, whatever, reporters, you know, the president isn't going to your big party that you throw every year. But this is a data point in a bigger trend, I think, which is just that there is this big divide and that the press is being demonized by President Trump in ways that, you know, he's being dishonest himself about some things when he's talking about the news being fake and that reporters are lying and that they're making up sources.
Yeah, well, it's an extreme position that he's taking. The Republicans always criticize the media. This has reached a point where it's, you know, over the top, actually. You know, any story that's critical of now becomes fake. And I think the fact that he's bowing out of this dinner, I mean, look, the dinner has many reasons to criticize the dinner. It's really become sort of an excessive show. But, you know, it has a little bit of the quality of you can't fire me, I quit. Because, you know, I think a lot of people would have dropped out of this dinner, would have protested him, the language that he's been throwing at the press. And also, I think, you know, following Obama, who's been brilliant at these dinners, he would have gotten a lot of criticism. That would not be his crowd. He likes to have his crowd at rallies. He likes to have sort of paid applauders when he goes to various things. He would not have been well received there. So the whole thing would have been fraught for him. And I think, you know, there's been a lot of criticism of Democrats being snowflake. This is sort of snowflakey to me to back out of this.
Alice, I know you've been critical of Donald Trump and his message for the media. This would have been a tough thing for him to go to, right? Because Hollywood's so prevalent at this event. Hollywood, generally speaking, at least the vocal parts of it, don't really like Donald Trump. Vanity Fair was saying we're not going to have this party we normally have. And you had a lot of people who certainly feel they don't have respect for Donald Trump. They're not going to come even to show respect to the institution. So maybe of the presidency. So maybe this isn't a surprise?
It's not a surprise. We've already had many of the news outlets, as you mentioned, indicate they're not going to have parties for whatever reason. And a lot of it is because a lot of the bigger parties and attractions for people were because celebrities were there, Hollywood types were there, and they're not coming. Clearly, those in Hollywood, the left, those on the left aren't supportive of Donald Trump. But you have to go back to the campaign. When Donald Trump first campaigned, he has always been critical of the media. This is not anything new. He truly believes when something is whether it's factually accurate or not, he is always going to speak against the media. That is simply what he does because whether it's factually incorrect or he doesn't like it, that's what he does. It also energizes his base, and that's something that he will continue to do. Also, that being said, today we had several stories about Russia again leading the headlines, many stories on Russia. The Democrats are having a good day with Tom Perez being elected the chairman of the DNC. Good news for them, not great news for the administration. And Donald Trump, crazy and smart like a fox, throwing something else out there that distracts from these other two headline-grabbing stories. And now the media is talking about this.
I know you said he's always felt this way about the media, but now he's calling the media the enemy of the people. I mean, do you see this as an escalation? Do you see this as something that could, while it energizes his base, I mean, how do you feel, especially with your background? You are a former broadcaster, I know, right? You were a reporter in Arkansas.
Right.
What do you feel about what this does? And I'm not talking about the dinner. I'm just talking about the general environment between Donald Trump and the media. What does this do for the democratic process?
Big picture here, clearly, as you indicate, this energizes his base. They like seeing the enemy. And every Trump event I've ever been to, that is clear. You can cut the tension with a knife. That being said, the media has a very important role in a free democratic society. They are the fourth estate. They are there to be a check and balance and be the eyes and ears of the public on what's going on in the government and what's going on with our elected officials and keeping them open and transparent. It's a critical part of our society, and they need to be allowed to do the job they're doing. Unfortunately, with some of the things that we're currently seeing, some of them, as we saw yesterday, with some of them being excluded from a briefing and instead a gaggle, that inhibits the media's opportunities to do what they are here to do, and I think that's unfortunate. Hopefully there will be some conversations and things will smooth out and iron out, but I think it's important for there to be a check and balance on the administration. I think facts are extremely important. That goes for those in the administration, elected officials, and with the media. So I think both sides can really come together and hopefully find a little common ground.
All right, let's hope. We may be hoping and hoping. Alice Stewart, Bill Carter, thank you so much to both of you.